My name is Holly. I am the founder and architect at Hereabout. Today we are going to dive into what's included in our build set package. As most of you know, we're here to help you create your most special place. So when you're looking to build a home, we're really aiming to bridge the gap between budget and design through our home plans, our pre-designed home plans, for those of you who seek a thoughtfully designed home. So we're balancing design, we are balancing sustainability, and we are balancing kind of budget and cost-effective measures so that we can build the homes that we want in a really, really good way. So we like to think through these three phases of building, and that's how we've structured the different steps that we have that you can take with us. So to start, phase number one is really that dreaming phase, right? It's flirty, it's fun, it's easy. We're gathering information, we're thinking through all of these big dreams that we have and what our house could be and what we want it to be. Then we move into the planning phase. Things start to get a little bit more real. Maybe we are having to take a realistic look at our budget and what's possible. And so this phase can be a little bit intimidating, right? There's a lot of steps to it, and there's a lot of big steps we need to take to get things kind of actually moving. It's also really exciting because you get to start to see progress on your dream. Then we move into the building phase, and it can be a little overwhelming because there's so many decisions, but it's also really fun because we're starting to see that house that we've dreamt about really take shape and become a home. How we can help you in each of these phases. In that dreaming phase, we have so many free resources on our website. Please check out our blog. Lots of things to help you step by step through each of these phases. And then we also have these free fact sheets for each of our home plans. They can give you a little bit better sense of the home, of the design. You can share it with your builder when you're starting conversations, share it with anybody that you're thinking about building with. And you can just think through it at a finer detail. And then in that planning phase, we actually have the planning set. This is perfect for preliminary decision making. Like when you're starting to have conversations with contractors, it's a really good tool to have those conversations, get your potential contractor excited about your build. It's really great for getting local and general cost to build estimates, so you can kind of vet the design with your budget and make sure that it's going to be something you can afford to build. People have also used it to get a local approval or permit. And it can be great for getting a building loan from the bank, or at least starting those conversations. Then when you are actually ready to build, we have the build set, and that's what we're going to be reviewing today. So this is your comprehensive set of blueprints. It is the full set of drawings that you need when your contractor is ready to make a detailed cost estimate. You want to really look at the numbers and fine-tune those. You want to dig into the details of the home so that you can start to get organized for construction and when you're ready to build the home. So let's dive in. What is included in the build set? As a brief and general overview of what's included in this full build set package, our first one, which is the biggest one, is those architectural drawings. Those are created by us, and that's what we're going to be reviewing today in detail. We also now provide 2 hours of customizations through our design studio. We work one-on-one with you to tweak the design for anything that you'd like. You can move windows, you can move doors, we can take a look at some maybe a different layout for your bathroom, anything that might serve you better and serve your land better potentially, and whatever you need. You also will receive structural drawings. These are done by a professional engineer, and they can also help down the road if you need the structural drawings stamped, if you want to review the structural drawings for your site. Potentially you have a higher snow load or wind load, they can update those drawings for you. You'll also get an interior package from us. This is a full full basically spreadsheet of interior finishes that have been selected and designed by us. And you get all of those links and all of those recommendations from us for certain rooms in the house. You also get one license to build the home, a 60-minute onboarding call with you, your contractor, and me. And that can help answer any questions that the contractor might have, or any questions that you have. Foundation options for all of the homes, slab on grade, crawl space, or basement. And then you also get, like I mentioned before, access to the structural engineer for that structural stamping. All right, let's dive into a full set of drawings. On our cover sheet, this is kind of the title page of the book, may we say. And we're going to be looking at the Hangout V3. This is the slab on grade foundation. So first we're looking at the full list of drawings. We see some nice 3D views of the house. This is our details and note sheet. And then we start to get into the drawings. So on our floor plans, I love to call the floor plans our treasure map of the drawing set. It's kind of giving us the layout of the land for this home. So we're seeing all of the walls, all of the doors, all of the windows locations, what are all of our room names, and then we're starting to see really detailed construction dimensions for where all of those things are located. The treasure map of things of sorts is we have all of these keys that kind of point you in the direction of some other drawing within the set, within the whole set. So here we're seeing section cuts, and this will bring us to another page. So this section cut is, we're cutting through this home, standing in the center, looking this way because our arrow is pointing this way, and we're going to see a 2D cut through that house at that point, and we'll get to that drawing in a bit. Also on our floor plans, we're seeing location of plumbing and appliances, and a bunch of notes that describe other items in the design. So now we're going to the upper level of the house, and then we're getting to our roof plan, which is now describing the slope of the roofs, our overhangs, and maybe what different truss profiles we have. On all of our drawings, we also like to suggest any additional sustainability measures that you could take. Anything like that is optional, but sometimes people like to know where they could and maybe want to do more. And those are nice, just small suggestions that we have included in each page. Our exterior elevations, we start to see those same door and window tags that we saw on our floor plan. And so you're starting to kind of connect the dots of where all of these things are located and on which elevation. We have keynotes for all of our exterior finishes. So for example, we have a keynote here saying it's keynote D, and we see siding here. So we're not telling you use this type of siding. We're just suggesting this siding, vertical siding here if you want. A lot of people change it up though and do something differently. So it's flexible enough for you kind of to put your own personality and your own spin on it. And we're always here for questions and opinions if you want our opinion on what you should select. So we're looking here, we see the height and location of all of the windows and doors, and slope of all of our roofs, and kind of how everything is looking in elevation. Overall building heights and floor heights we also see, and then which windows kind of are egress windows as well. Now we are coming right into our window and door schedules, so we are looking at all of these windows, all of these doors, the schedule for all of those, including the height, the width, our door and window details. And then we move into those section cuts that I had mentioned before in the floor plan. So standing right in that living room looking directly towards that exterior gable wall. We see what's that shape of the space inside, how high is everything. We're pulling dimensions for all of that and explaining the truss profiles as you see them kind of move through the house here. This one's starting to develop that dormer. And then like what is our floor makeup and what are those connections between all of these things. You can see our stairs. So we like to take a section cut kind of through each different connection in the house or each different scenario in the house. You can see in this one, as you come in, this is our space above the bridge. So you come in and you look up and you can see the bridge and there's that nice connection there. Different dormers and then our long section through the house. We now start to get more detailed and more detailed. So when we back up, we see our sections, kind of that's our biggest picture, and now we're going to go more detailed, finer and finer detail. So we have some interior details that we like to include. This is a nice big wall section, and this is a great overview for like what is that roof assembly, which is that roof makeup with our truss, our roof, and any insulation. Same with our overall wall assembly and floor assembly or foundation assembly. And then as you can see, we're calling out different areas and zooming even closer into those so that we can really understand what all of those connections are. We get into our stair details here, which are really important for understanding how to create the stairs to get from one floor to the next. So lots of details and lots of dimensions and detail and notes to provide your builder with the appropriate communication to build the stairs. And these 3D views I think are super helpful to understand kind of where those railings start and stop. Then we get into our lighting and electrical plans. So this is a great overview for where all of the light fixtures, smoke detectors, switches, and outlets are. And it's also a great indication and plan for what switch connects to what light and where does it get switched on and off. This is one of those plans that I love people to like really look at before they build, and we can help refine and tweak this plan as necessary because everyone has a little bit different lighting opinions and lighting taste. And for the upper level, and then we get into our furniture and finish plans, and these are really helpful to understand in this home, like what is the scale that we're working with for furniture and where is the cabinetry and what size is it? And also for all of the finishes, what are all of these finishes that I'm gonna have to select in the plan? So again, like the exterior finishes, we don't provide specifics on like choose this exact tile within these plans. Your interior package does help provide you some options and suggestions for that. But within these drawings, we're just saying, hey, at this wall here, you might want to suggest a tile backsplash at the kitchen. Same with location of tile in the bathrooms and maybe in other areas in the house. Also, what are all these different counters that we're selecting? So this is basically like a really nice big list of all of the interior finishes that you may have to select for your home. So it's a really nice first step towards organization, in my opinion. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to give you a little better sense of some things here, but this is really nice to see. We're pulling all of these dimensions for the cabinetry too. This is just a first pass of suggesting, like, if we were to build this house, this is how we would set the cabinetry up. But what you can do is take this page of drawings, and what's coming up next is these interior elevations where we're starting to see this cabinetry in elevation form. Take that to your cabinet maker, and this is a really good first starting point of like, hey, this is what the space we have to work with. This is the cabinetry that's suggested, but I would really like doors on either side of my oven rather than drawers. And also, that's something that we can help with within those 2 hours of customizations, or if you want to work with us further on that. But as we get into these interior elevations, it's really nice to see in each of these smaller space, high-touch rooms, bathrooms, and kitchens, anywhere that there's cabinetry, we'll pull an interior elevation for you. So you're starting to see those finish tags appear again, showing you that, hey, this is another set of cabinetry we're going to have to select. You're going to have to select another finish for that cabinetry or match it to something else. But we're also showing the size of the mirrors, how high our sconces are suggested to hang, how high these pendants are suggested to hang off of the countertop, a nice layout for that mudroom and possible pantry space. These nice built-in shelves, dimensioned and detailed. Our island, and then we get into the bathrooms. At the primary bathroom, even showing if you want to put a niche in for all of your products, this is how we would suggest, this is where and how we would suggest doing it. And all of those other dimensions, and just a stab at the drawings to get you started. So that finishes out the architectural set, and then we move into the structural drawings, which are completed by that structural engineer that we work with. And these provide a foundation plan, first floor stud and shear wall plan, going up to our framing plans, second floor roof framing plans, and then all of these structural details that are super important with understanding some of the connections that are required in the house. So thank you so much. Please email me with any questions. We're here to help, and our goal is really to set you up for success in building a really wonderful, really well-built home. So thank you. Bye.